Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Harmony of Dissonance, Part 13 on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. In this episode, after having successfully killed Pazuzu, you know, one of Dracula's final forms from earlier, we now have access to the upper half of both Castle A and B. So, we're going to go back to Castle A.
See, Link only had to play a song in order to go from the past to the present. We have to go to the physical doorway every single time.
Here's the thing. Link also had to go to physical spots in Ocarina of Time in order to do it.
Yeah. Well, except... Well, I mean, there are some places also where you simply cannot warp out. And your Ocarina will play in vain.
Now, here, poison
Bless
lizard.
you, yes.
You have poisoned me, so I cast Salamander upon you.
Cough, cough, hack, wheeze, cough. I'm poisoned. Cough, cough, hack, wheeze.
And yes, now that Death has captured Lydia, our primary objective is to explore both castles using the Twin Castles mechanic. Here is another merchant shop that we don't have access to because our hearts are not in the right spot. Ha 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 ha.
I feel like they might as well have put Capcom TM in the bottom right corner of the merchant screen. It would have been much more appropriate.
Not really, because then you wouldn't actually understand that your hearts need to be at a specific spot in order to get in there.
Or they could insert the name of the game's director.
Ooh, we got the heavy armor. Now, the heavy armor is actually really nice. See, it gives us an additional 12 defense over the armor that we were wearing.
Nice.
And it doesn't actually cover the downside like it would in other Igavanias, like having our movement speed cut in half or some other bullshit.
Yeah, you would rather take more damage on getting hit than move slower, because if you're moving slower, you are going to get hit more often.
And oh look, it's a mirrored boss door. Hit the save room first.
Sweet.
And get ready for a boss level 2, because that is what we have here. The level 2 Minotaur.
The ball and chain Minotaur.
Yes, he is slightly more difficult because the ball and chain, you know, actually has its own physics attached to it. But to be perfectly honest, he's pretty much almost as much as a joke.
Oh. Whoa, you say that, but we almost bit the big one.
Yeah, but now we're going to just iframe spam our way through, because that's what we can do.
Salamandra. Yeah, and you thought you were going to iframe spam.
Well, I did iframe spam. I just didn't do it skillfully enough.
And we have actually died during the run. It was our first.
It was our first
How many more?
We actually did have a death earlier against something or other. I forget what it was.
The boss is right here. Well, at least, wow, that's like 1/4 health
1/3
bar?
actually.
Jesus Christ!
It's not exactly 1/3, but it's
because
almost 1/3. The reason why he's hitting me for so much fucking damage is because I am stupidly using my luck equipment gear for this fight when I'm not supposed to be.
He's weak at the knees. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Nah.
The hands can't hit what the eyes can't see. Oh! Please, don't die this time. You got the ball and chain.
I honestly don't know how much HP Minotaur level 2 actually has. I assume it's just slightly more than the base Minotaur.
Alright, and then he juts forward without actually moving his knees.
He does flex his lower calf muscles though.
See, if this was a Sega Genesis game, that ball would just fucking extend all the way to the other end of the arena and just put more space in between the chain links. By the skin on our scrotums, we have defeated Minotaur level 2.
Which gives us the steel tip, which will be our primary attacking whip enhancement for most of the rest of the game. We do have access to the final whip upgrade, but we're not going to get it for another couple parts yet.
We have become even more
Now,
powerful.
slightly. We're doing more non-elemental damage. Specifically, enemies that are weak to specific elemental types will take more damage from the elemental whips, but we're not using them. That is an elixir up there. It looks like we're actually going to go back for it. Yep, okay.
Now that we have the steel tip upgrade, we can deal extra damage to rock-type enemies.
Actually, we would need to have the greenstone equipped to do that. At least I believe so.
Damn it. Thought it would follow Pokemon rules. Like
No.
Pokemon Emerald. That was a Game Boy Advance game.
Let me think. Rock-type Pokemon are weak to water and grass. So...
And steel.
Yeah, they're weak to steel, I suppose, but they're not weak enough to steel to make steel, honestly, a good attacking type.
Well, it's only that, because most of the time rock-type Pokemon do not have great special defense, which is why grass and water would be more preferable to use against them than fighting, steel, ground, because those are physical attributes.
You say that, but Diglett is still the best. Is still one of the best Pokemon in generations 1 to 3.
Diglett, dig, trio.
Yeah. Doug Trio just wrecks the entirety of Generation 1. Oh, look! More armor! The double mail. I do believe the double mail is just literally better than the heavy armor.
Mail.
Let us see. Yes, it is. Woohoo!
Double mail. Double layered armor.
Yeah. As Pascal is mentioning here, that's why we keep our like equipment on for a majority of the game, because getting enemy drops like the double armor or the pretty much any of the drops from the heavier enemies in the mid game can really help out juice survivability against specific bosses.
Yeah, and you definitely want to have your luck on so that you can save the game after getting said luck-based gained items. Because if you don't save your game and you die, then phooey, you failed to save the equipment.
Yeah.
The kettle hat. It is a hat that you wear while brewing tea.
Actually, it is an Aqua Knight's helm. I don't recall if the Aqua Knight variant of armor specifically exists during our actual medieval history, but yeah, once you actually would see the Kettle Knight's helm represented in other media, you would pretty much immediately recognize it. That's a dead specter.
Fetch me a cup of coffee. Fetch me tea, knave. Yes, my lord. And he takes off his head and starts pouring it into a mug.
So I believe what we're doing now is we're going to show off that, in fact, both castles have this particular room. Yes, the decor room actually transfers between both castles. Behold our castle painting! We have so much of the decor items.
Reaver.
So very many of them.
We got a mounted head. We got a kitty.
chandelier.
We got a
even.
stupid guy statue. We have a bust of a dead guy.
We have multiple busts of dead people even.
Yes.
So what is new in the world of Cloud as we go back
right.
through the castle corridor portion that we just now have access to on Castle B in order to get into the Skeleton Cave.
Well, the wait is over, Mr. Gridette. I have finally gotten Elden Ring on PS4.
Now, you mentioned off camera that you've not actually started playing it yet. Do you know what kind of builds you want to go into,
Not
though?
yet. I am intrigued by the idea of doing a samurai build. Especially because Elden Ring, unlike the Dark Souls series, gives you a jump ability. So just like Wolf can and Sekiro, you can use jumping not only to navigate the map, but also to have a dodge-free option to avoiding damage from enemies and maybe getting some cool combos off.
Potentially.
Not
I
to
honestly
mention
don't know how effective
that you can
jumping
also
is in Elden Ring, But then again, most of the footage that I've seen of Elden Ring was Max's boss rage against a specific spoilery event that I don't want to spoil for you in the event that you want to go in there blind. Now that you actually have Elden Ring.
I have been spoiled to some things, like the Commander Niall boss fight, which my buddy had only beaten Commander Niall for the first time while I was watching, and saw him get the Commander Niall trophy. It took him about 4 or 5 attempts in order to defeat that boss, because he rolls with a posse.
Whereas the Anthroskeleton here does not. There's a second Anthroskeleton here, yes, but it's on the other side, so...
It is a Capcom thing in many games that enemies will lose top half of body, but lower half of body is still dangerous.
But this is a Konami game, Cloud. That's at least the second time you've made that error.
I see. Well now, Konami, although not a Capcom-owned affiliated company, also will create Headless Zombie.
I mean, they made Headless Knight certainly, but that's that is an artwork that's specifically reminiscent of that trope in classical horror.
The Headless
For the
Knight.
record, Castlevania uses
stars.
Durahan a lot. Like,
4
Curse of
stars.
Darkness actually uses
Earth
Durahan
Attribute.
as one of the big bosses that Hector has to go through. And as much as I love Curse of Darkness, I am terrible at the Durahan fight. Oh, man. Curse of Darkness is a game that I want to play through for the channel, but then I remember that, dear God, I am terrible at the Dracula fight. Just absolute bullshit at that fight. Ugh.
You can get better with
I
practice.
could, in theory, get better with practice, but I know me. I don't usually get better with practice. Anyway, breaking this wall is very important. Yes, as it affects what we can do in the other castle. And now we have to travel all the way back to the other castle in order to cash in on what we just did.
Something had changed in the other castle. Whoosh. Alright, now let's take the 2.5-minute walk up to the actual teleportation device and enjoy that which we had done and worked on in the other castle.
I don't think we actually capitalize on that yet, though. Yeah, what we're gonna do for the rest of this part is this block puzzle, which I am not good at. I'm not good at a lot of things in life, Mr. Cloud. Block puzzles especially.
This sounds like something one could list on a job resume. Strengths: puzzle games, first-person shooters. Weaknesses: block puzzles, difficult boss encounters.
And being unable to clean up ice cream stains.
Yes, ice cream stains might need an abundance of hand soap.
Why is it that ice cream stains close so well, Mr. Cloud?
They close? What? You mean you made the ice cream monster bleed?
Well, not the ice cream monster specifically, but my ice cream sandwich bled all over my fucking shirt. It was not nice of it.
Well, how high off the ground were you holding your ice cream sandwich with cookie buns?
I do believe it was only like 4 feet. And we have already screwed up this.
So in that case,
damn it, reset.
You might want to consider using a plate the next time you realize that your vanilla ice cream is dripping out of the cookie buns of your ice cream sandwich.
Or a napkin.
Or a napkin. A wide napkin, which you hold underneath your sandwich with your opposite hand.
Alright, do this nicely. Yep, just like that. Don't get stuck.
It fell to the good.
And there.
We'll have to reload the save file. Huzzah!
So now we just need to push the box over there in order to get up to the upper part of this room. Igavania games actually do like their block puzzles, but this is like the only block puzzle that I can recall that's this in that rather Harmony of Dissonance is the only block puzzle that I can recall being actually in depth.
The entire game is a block puzzle.
Thankfully not. I mean, there are games that are nothing but block puzzle. Here is one of the best grinding rooms in the game. Skeleton Glass gives a shit ton of fucking experience for killing him. So every time these 4 break out of these tubes, and this room resets every time you walk back and forth, you just casually walk through it and kill these guys, and they've got a huge cash drop that they can drop as well. I don't know why they have so much experience on them, but they have a boatload of fucking experience every time you kill them.
Arbitration.
Well, arbitrary bonuses. And in the next episode, we will finish up our traversal through the Skeleton Cave A with one of my favorite boss fights. Be safe, everybody.
And remember, don't make the statue cry, because its tears are made of skeletons that will come after you.